It's Sunday the 19th of February 2017, and you are listening to the Paul Clark Podcast. You know, one of the best things about having a podcast is that you can just literally at the click of a button jump on your mobile phone device and just start blurting out words. And sometimes the words might be quite insightful and profound, and other times they'll be just like woof, 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 all over the place and make no sense. But I think this will be the most sense that I've ever made, because really, this podcast actually could just be about a minute or 2 minutes. But I'm going to use this opportunity, I'm going to use this podcast to do a little review. And I don't do reviews that much. I don't really review TV shows or films or anything like that. But this is the exception to the rule. And I thought I'd got over it, but I haven't, because it's made me very, very angry. It's made me very, very angry, this show. And as I say, this could just be a minute, this podcast, a minute, 2 minutes, because all I really need to say is rubbish, or shit, or garbage, or crap. Because that, dear listener, is exactly what Emerald City is. It's just, wow. And I'm a guy who's seen Sliders, okay? You know what I mean? And if you want to know what Sliders is, then just Google the shit out of that. But Sliders at least started good. You know, Sliders, science fiction TV series from the 1990s, it started good. It got bad, and I don't think it ever really recovered after its fourth season. But at least that started strong with a good pilot episode and a good first 2 seasons. So if nothing else, you've got at least the pilot episode, which is effectively a TV movie, and you got 2 seasons of Sliders that you can say, okay, Sliders was good. Emerald City, episode 1, it's like, okay, I try not to judge things on a first episode. Personally, I think your first episode should be a real belter. You know, you should. To me, it doesn't really matter about the second or the third or the fourth or the fifth episodes, but you got to get your first episode right. That's what Stephen Moffat said when he was doing when he was taking over Doctor Who. He said, "Look, our focus was episode 1, the 11th hour, which debuted the new Doctor, Matt Smith." The same with Peter Capaldi. Their focus is episode 1. It'll be the same when the new producer of Doctor Who takes over. You know, his responsibility is episode 1, because your episode 1 is the one that everyone watches. You know, because there's interest. It's a new show, or it's a new beginning for a show. So you kind of want to see what it's like. You want to get a feel from it. Is it like it was before, or is it different? Is it good, different, bad, different? But you should never entirely judge a whole season, I don't think, on a first episode. But it should always be at least a strong start to make you want to come back for more. And episode 1 of Emerald City, I kind of thought, okay, I can see what they're doing. There's still a lot here that doesn't really feel right. But you're thinking, okay, look, first episode, a new acting talent. Well, I say talent. We'll get into that a little bit later. But a new acting, a new performer, a new actress. It's a big role. It's a debut in film, well, television. So you think, okay, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. And there was potential there. There was some good set pieces, some beautiful locations, and I'm thinking, okay, some interesting visual effects. I'm like, all right, okay, it's almost like light entertainment, the first episode. The special effects and the location filming kind of keeps it flowing along. The story is a bit hit and miss, but you're thinking, all right, look, I'll give it a try. Episode 2, come on, you got to give it a try, Paul. Well, episode 2 I watched last night, and I have never seen like a full house of just shite. Like bad acting, bad writing, bad direction. It's like, wow, okay, this is not good. This is beyond bad. This show. I tell you this, right? This is NBC. The people who've produced this work of art is NBC, and NBC right now have got 2 shows going on. One is Emerald City, and the other is Timeless. I love Timeless. Timeless is a thing of beauty. The cast, perfect with each other. The scripts, very intelligent, very well thought out. I cannot praise Timeless enough. A lot of people don't. I've noticed that it's not really necessarily got much of a vibe going, but it's a good show. It's a really good show. I mean, it's a show that I suppose would help if you have an interest in American culture, like maybe I do, because it is all set in American history. Like the latest episode, they did Bonnie and Clyde, which I just thought was an amazing episode. Previous episodes, they've done Nixon and Watergate. I think the next up and coming episode is the American Civil War, the American Civil War. So. Yeah, it's a good show that's got a lot going for it. But of course, Emerald City has the attachment of the Wizard of Oz. And okay, listen, this is not the Wizard of Oz. Okay, this is poo, is what it is. This is the biggest load of crap you will ever see coming out of American television. And normally, I mean, look, I always say, and it's the same here in the UK and all over the world, really, when this stuff get imported or exported outside their countries, we see the best stuff of America, okay? We see Supergirl, we see Flash, we see Gotham, we see Arrow, we see Legends of Tomorrow, we see Timeless, we see Knight Rider, we see Andromeda, we see all these shows, we see Thundercats, we see Turtles, we see Hercules, we see Xena, we see all these, the good stuff. But occasionally, some of the bad stuff seeps in, and I'm telling you, this is bad. Like, really, really, really bad. And the actors just, I mean, I don't want to be harsh, because I used to be one of these guys, and I think I still am, but I used to be one of these guys that would turn around and say stuff like, well, no one sets out to make a bad TV show. Let's not be too harsh. I used to say that to my friend. I used to say, let's not be too harsh, Alex. Let's be. And he told me once that he went on a course. I think it was. He was on like a panel, like doing a kind of review thing, like going around and reviewing like little short films and stuff. And he once told me that he had me in his head saying, don't be too harsh, Alex. No one goes out to make a bad film. No one goes out to make a bad motion picture or television show. Well, when you see Emerald City, you think they deliberately went out there to make a bad picture. The acting is just atrocious. It's like these guys. I don't know where they found these people. Because it's like, did you just find them down the local job centre or something? Because they don't look comfortable. They just really... The actress who plays Dorothy, she looks so uncomfortable in her own skin. And she has no chemistry with any of her acting colleagues. And by the way, don't come into this thinking you're going to get the Tin Man, and you're gonna get the Friendly Lion, and you're gonna get who's the other one? The Scarecrow. Don't think you're gonna get those guys. No. Because I mean, you gotta remember, this is Hollywood, so And they've got to get the ladies, they've got to get the female gender watching this drivel. So what they do is they throw like a good looking guy in there who's like a warrior. He fought in the Wizard of Oz's army. Now, last time I checked, the Wizard of Oz didn't have an army. Or certainly, I mean, he had guards, of course. He would have had access to an army, but not an army that basically slits people's throats or burns people's homes down like what this guy was doing. I mean, when Dorothy finds him, he's this warrior, the Warrior of Oz. He's on a cross, being crucified like Jesus. Now, I know it's the thing to sort of go, well, okay, look, it's because, Paul, you know, we've all been conditioned to believing the Walt Disney version of The Wizard of Oz. Then, well, yes, we have, but there was a brilliant film that was done, which is very underrated, by the way, in the, when was this, late 80s? 80s, probably about 86, 87, maybe even into the 90s, but I'm pretty sure it was about 86, 87. And it was called The Return to Oz. And as far as I'm aware, I don't think that was Disney. It might have been, but I don't think it was. And that film wasn't Disneyfied. That film wasn't, you know, singing and the dancing or anything like that. And it was a sequel to the original Wizard of Oz film. But that was really good. I mean, that's how you do it. That's how you do a Wizard of Oz adaptation without, say, the Walt Disney, Disneyfied slant on things. But this, as I say, this Emerald City, its words fail me as to how it even got written or produced or made. And of course they have to go with the liberal angle here. And Class did this, the BBC's recent attempt at a Doctor Who spin-off. It's like a diversity checklist. So Dorothy is Mexican. So she's not only fluent in English, but she can also speak Mexican. And this is, by the way, how... This is why I'm done with this series now. Not because Dorothy's Mexican or anything like that, but the last episode, episode 2, which I just found myself constantly checking my phone, just thinking, when's this going to be over? Can we please get this over with? Please, dear God, can we get this over with? And I'm hoping, though, at the end, and I was saying this to my mum and my dad when we were watching it, I was saying, well, look, I'm going to keep watching this. I'm going to try my best to make it to the end of the episode because you never know. There might be a good cliffhanger. Because the CW shows do that quite a bit. You know, they maybe an episode of Supergirl might not be as good as the last one, but you think, okay, keep going. And if you keep going, you get a really good, juicy cliffhanger at the end, which is like, okay, that saves the episode. But that didn't happen with this episode. What happened was, you get to the end of episode 2, and this character all of a sudden turns into a girl who previously was a guy, turns into a girl, and then it becomes a story about accepting, even though we've only just met this character 5 minutes before, but now we've got to accept that he is now a she, and how his/her travelling companion can't really accept the fact that, you know, all of a sudden he has now become a she. I mean, what? Seriously? Words absolutely fail me. So, I end this podcast trying not to encourage you to go off and see this, but if you want to, then that's fine. You may like it. If you like it, comment below. Let me know what you think of Emerald City. Those are my views. Interested to know what yours are. Thanks very much for listening to the Paul Clark Podcast.